Hello fellow YouTubers and World of Warship players, and welcome to another episode of Remarkable Replays. And today I've got a treat for you, uploaded by Hydra in his Hindenburg. The map's Atlantic and the game mode is Domination, and it's a carrier and sub match with starships or tier 11s, Satsuma main, that sort of thing. So this should be a relatively eventful match, I would think. He's definitely up against it. Now the Hindenburg has 12 203mm guns. She also has a turtleback armor scheme, and she's a heavy cruiser, and she is fairly tanky kiting away, although she can still unfortunately be overmatched by the 4.57mm guns that seem to be very common these days in World of Warships. So Hydra's going to have to be a little bit careful. Be interesting to see how he plays this. Okay. I can tell you that German cruisers have this thing called quarter pen, which means that their high explosive, or HE, pens a quarter of their gun caliber. So what that means in English is that her HE can pen 50mm deck armor, yes, and 50mm upper belts. So there are much more places on a battleship that a Hindenburg can farm damage from than most other cruisers because of her good pen values on the HE. He's just opening fire on the U-2501 that's been spotted by the carrier. That's good. And he's got considerable range on this build. His guns are ranging out to around 20.7 kilometers. With the spotter plane up, that's going to be around 22-kilometer range. And she is essentially a long-range farmer stroke kiter. That's the playstyle. You don't really want to get into medium range or close range with enemy targets until the end of the match if you can avoid it. Satsuma's opened fire on him, he's changed course, and he just gets grazed by one overpen for 1,350 damage, but he managed to avoid most of that by slowing down and turning in. He's returning fire on the Satsuma at a range of 22.7 kilometers with the spotter plane up, and gets a fire. And honestly, getting fires against super large ships like the Satsuma is very rewarding in terms of damage. He's already up to 13k. There's another fire. He's spreading those fires around. Firing on the Lion now. Lining up the Satsuma again, because he's just noticed that the Satsuma's put the fire out. And you can see Team Green have formed like a ball of ships just above the cap at Cap A if you check your mini-map. Team Green have got a couple of ships over at sea. Team Red seem to have at least 4 ships in the area at sea. Team Green have got a daring on cap who's blocking and contesting at sea, which is good to know. Not much in the middle. There's a Satsuma and Kurfürst that are moving away, heading towards sea. Well, heading north. I think their intended destination is sea. But there's not much going on in the middle of the map. Now, Hydra's using the island to conceal his position, although he is lit currently by the Buffalo. He's firing on the main. And I can tell straight away that basically he's running a lighthouse build. What that means is his detection and gun range match. You can see he can be detected at 20.7 kilometers. He can be spotted from space. I say that's not entirely true. 20.7 kilometers is gun range. No, it was actually... it's a semi-lighthouse build, or a lighthouse build. I don't think he's taken concealment by the look of it. I think his spot's around 17 kilometers. I'll keep an eye open for that. Now, lighthouse builds are a little risky because basically you can be spotted from a stupid amount of range and you're not going to be breaking away anytime soon. You can see he's already tanked over 1 million damage because people have been consistently firing at him. Now, you can get away with this in something like a Hindenburg because you have a very strong armor profile. You've got heals. Your citadel is protected by a turtle back. And you can kite away, which is essentially what he's doing here, and avoid a lot of the enemy fire by doing so. So the combination of strong armor profile, healing, and kiting away are your friends. Slaps a heal on. Meanwhile, Team Red control all the caps. Team Green have lost their daring. Now there's literally only one destroyer aside, so that's telling. Okay, there's the Buffalo. He's opening fire on the Buffalo. It's 2 fires, firing in again, and the Buffalo's out of there. Yeah, 17.9 kilometer detect. Full lighthouse on the Hindenburg. And he would have built into things like heavy AP and stuff like outnumbered. I'm surprised he hasn't got outnumbered, actually. But that's okay. Now, you can see top grade gunner is procced. That gives him 10% improvement on his reload speed. And with the lighthouse build, the whole idea is to keep that continuously procced by being constantly detected by the enemy fleet. So you've always got that 10% buff to your DPM, to your reloads. And of course he doesn't need to take IFHE with the Hindenburg. He can put those points elsewhere because she's got 50mm pen on the HE rounds. So he's come up with a damage build, I would say. That's my best guess. Full damage build, full lighthouse. And he's at what, 52k damage so far with having sunk one enemy ship. He's also getting quite a lot of fires. That's good. That's good. It's good to see. 6 fires so far. Team Red has now lost their U-2501 along with the Buffalo that Hydra sank here. And he's now opening up on the Colombo. There's the Prince Albert, or Albrecht. Aldebert. Again, 7 pens. You get a lot of pens with the HE on this ship. And 2 fires. But the AP is also strong. The AP has improved angles. And honestly, hits like a truck. You can get 10k salvos into the sides of battleships, which is very nice to have. Absolutely shreds cruisers. The AP is very solid indeed, but he is very much going for the HE spam so far. I haven't seen much AP being used. Right, he's lining up the main. He was thinking about the main. I can't believe he's undetected, actually. He's going into, he's going to cap. Hydra's going into B. Alright. Colombo's behind an island and smoked, so he's dark. The main is all the way out on the island. Team Red is mostly at the edge of his spotting range. Okay, he's been lit now. And he's trying a very risky cap. But then Team Green need the caps, really. You can't let Team Red dominate on caps. Launch some torps at the gaps between the islands, just to deny them, in case somebody pushes into him to try and stop him capping. Which, always a good idea. There's a Colombo. Now you see, I'd argue that really you'd be better off firing the AP. He's switched to AP. Good man. Good man. Now we might get to see what the AP can do. Got 6 pens with the HE mine. I get it. I totally get it. You get good pen with the HE. There you go. Look at that. 10k damage right there. 5 pens, one over pen. And followed up by another 5k, 6k. Switches back to the HE as the Colombo is now angling away, and the Kearsarge takes the last remaining hit points of the Colombo. Again, all the time kiting away, showing angle, not broadside to the enemy fleet, and playing a very cagey game. This is classic Hindenburg playstyle for a lighthouse build. This is really good play from Hydra. He's turning back in. He wants to contest B and at the same time farm. I like it. See if we can get a fire on the main, maybe. Now he's switched targets to the Yoshino. Okay. He's running priority target, which I would recommend on this build. Mainly because it gives you a pretty good idea of how many people have got you lit and targeted and are likely to shoot at you. Which allows you to, it gives you time to position your ship and to kite away if needed. Okay. Let's get some good hits on the main, no fires yet. Just giving the main a bit more lead. And bear in mind, the accuracy of these guns, the shell velocity is strong. We get a fire, 4 pens, and now the main's burning. Honestly, the range of these guns and the shell velocity in combination make them very easy to aim over ranges of like 18 to 20 kilometers. He's assuming the Yoshino's going to slow down and reverse or something with those. Let's see if he got that right. Yoshino was moving really slowly. No, it looks like he missed. Okay, Yoshino must have accelerated. Now he got 2 pens. Okay. Okay, he caught him with a couple of shells while he was accelerating, I guess. Alright, going for the Yoshino again. Expecting the Yoshino to kite out, so he went quite high with the marker. And yes, the Yoshino is kiting out, but he's moving a little faster than Hydra accounted for. Not an easy target to hit, but he's giving it his best go. And now he's turning to go into B. And Team Red is looking at this point pretty shot up. They have 2 caps, but they're purely in defense mode at the moment, and the Yoshino's about to burn out. Yeah. Okay, the Brennus got him. Okay. Now Hindenburg is going in to support the battleship that is capping. They just lost their Kearsarge to Satsuma. Not too surprised at that. Satsuma's guns are pretty nasty. 500mm guns. Yee. Scary stuff. There's the Essex. Main's open fire on the Hindenburg. Doesn't appreciate being HE spammed, I imagine. And the Essex is dropping the Hindy. And again, I mean, he took a little bit of damage and a fire, which he's immediately extinguished because his hit point pool is quite low. I get that. And continues to bully the Satsuma and the main. And that's the thing, you're a long-range bully. If you play the Hindenburg right, there's not a lot people can do about you. I mean, this ship has been power crept a little bit, but For shell velocity, pen, and ease of use, I would say that she is still a stronger ship than, say, the Bremen. Although the Bremen in the right hands can be quite frightening. But doesn't have the HE pen. 38 mil on the Bremen as opposed to 50 mil on the Hindenburg. And the Hindenburg is a tech tree ship. You don't need to get her out of a Christmas crate or anything like that. You can literally just research this ship. Now, he's tanked over 2 million damage so far, so I imagine he got a Dreadnought medal for that. But then the play style he's been using, he's either bows on or stern on. He rarely shows his broadside, and when he does, it's usually to an island, so he can keep himself safe. Okay, caught a torpedo there from the carrier drop. Keeping the pressure on the main. And there's the Essex. Switch to the AP. And he should be able to farm down the Essex pretty fast with the AP, which is quite soft. There you go, 4.5k there with 9 pens from the HE. AP going in. 5 over pens, 7 over pens. Okay, we're getting some big numbers. And yeah. AP finishes him off. Gets a Confederate medal. He gets to sink the Essex, and at the same time he got a Citadel. Very good, very, very good. And he's staying angled to the Satsuma, but he is showing a little bit of angle, but then the Satsuma isn't looking at him. You see, priority target tells you this. He knows he's not being targeted by the Satsuma, so he can show a bit more broadside to get all his guns to bear. And he's keeping the pressure on the Satsuma. The Satsuma's very low now. Very, very low. And he finishes the Satsuma off and wins the match. 4 kills. Very good play there from Hydra. Almost textbook Hindenburg Lighthouse, I would say, but with a little bit of extra sparkle going on. You got an expert for this one. Well played, sir. And great upload. Confederate and Dreadnought medal. 2,555 XP, second in the team. Very good, very good. 192,000 damage caused to ships. 107,000 from the HE and 39,000 from the AP. And 45k from farming fires. Awesome. Really good play. Very impressed. Okay, let's have a look at the credits and XP. 20% modifier run, so just under 500,000 credits earned. Not bad for a 20%. 50% bonus there for the daily win. Gives him 6,535 XP. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that match as much as I did commenting on it. There will be another remarkable replay next week, same time, same channel. I look forward to seeing you all then, and if you like my content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you.